Hi there and welcome to this video introduction to dynamic arrays. So as of version 2.9.2 of Erizos Studio and Erizos plugins for Unreal Engine, we now support dynamic arrays in blueprints. So I'm just going to show you an example of that. Here I have my table and I'm going to jump into the blueprint, and you can see that we have a control blueprint which is exposing our data array. Now our data array is of type ST league which is our blueprint structure describing every row in our table. In previous versions, you'd have to set up the total number of rows that you have in this array, but we don't need to do that anymore. And I'm going to jump into Erizos Studio now, and let's import our table. So I have our table there, and by default it has 2 rows because that's what we set up in our blueprint. But what we can now do is add an additional row, and let's just put in some data quickly here. I'm not going to spend too much time just showing you how it works. So Chelsea, Liverpool, and just United. And now if I hit take in on this graph, let's just put engine on play mode. And if I now hit take in, you can see we have 3 rows, and all the previous functionality like changing rows still works. And if we take this graphic out and let's remove, so if I now do a right click on the row, I can now remove a row. We can now hit take in. You can see we now have 2 rows. Also, if we right click, we can add a table, a row before or after the currently selected row. Okay, so these tables in Erizos Studio are fully dynamic now. One additional feature that we have, if we go back into the blueprint, we can set the maximum number of rows that we allow a user or an operator to add to a table. So for this, we use the tooltip field over here, and we can write min, which is the minimum number of rows that we allow. I'm going to set it to, let's set it to 2, comma, max equals, let's set this to 4, hit compile, save, put our engine in play mode and jump back into Erizos Studio. We can now do a re-import on our graphic here. So we set our minimum to 2. If I now right click, I don't have the delete option anymore. Okay, but we can add additional row and an additional row. Now we have total of 4 rows, so it won't let me add any more rows into our table because we've set the min and max inside the tooltip. Okay, thank you for watching this introduction video to dynamic tables and arrays.